welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my live stream. This is Jacob Cast 2024. We're gonna do WWE SmackDown review. We're gonna do my preview and prediction for WWE Clash in Paris. That's on Sunday. Alright, so just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below if y'all want to see more. My video is sponsored by my favorite YouTubers and podcasters. Make sure you guys enjoy this video. We are going to talk about what happened on SmackDown tonight. Then we'll go to the preview and predictions for the matches announced for the pay-per-view on Sunday. They're in a different country. They're in Paris. Now, SmackDown was in France. SmackDown was actually pre-taped. The show was pre-taped tonight, but I watched on SmackDown. Yeah, so these are the matches for SmackDown. A tag team match with going after the women's tag team title, Charlotte and Alexa, against the Secret Harvest, Chelsea Green, Alpha Fire. We got the debut of Katana James. She made a debut tonight against Michin, who hadn't been on TV in a while. We got the Street Profits versus Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Their tag team name is Mellow Don't Miz. Street Profits going after the tag team title against the YSC. They teased it. We saw Bo Dallas, not dressed as Uncle Howdy, but Bo Dallas. He had a birthday segment with Street Profits and Carmelo Hayes and the Miz. And in the main event, we had Solo Sikoa defending the U.S. title against Sami Zayn. That was on tonight. Sami Zayn won the U.S. title. He beat Solo Sikoa. I don't know why, but they clearly have planned for Sami Zayn. Now my video is sponsored by Fightful Pro Wrestling, Just Alex, JD from New York, and Salomar the Sound Off, and Post Wrestling. But before I go into that, I will go into, well, I'm probably going to some of the highlights here. Okay, so, yeah. SmackDown wasn't that good. SmackDown felt kind of boring. It was very, very boring. Nothing happened here. I mean, the show opened up with a very good segment with John Cena and Logan Paul that went about almost 20 minutes, and that was it. Pretty good, and that was it. The tag team match, Bo Dallas won, Mellow Don't Miz. He won Mellow and Carmelo Hayes. Miz and Carmelo Hayes, I mean. So clearly, they're teasing something. We got a vignette, a birthday segment with Damian Priest and Aleister Black. We didn't see R-Truth, but Black and Priest are still feuding. Michin shocked victory over Katana James. They made Katana James into a loser, making her first match on debut, and here she loses. The Street Profits beat the Miz and Carmelo Hayes. We got Jay Cardo and Tiffany Stratton. She informs that she's the next challenger. Jade and Tiffany are still gonna feud. Sami Zayn celebrates his victory, he wins his first U.S. title. He celebrated with Jimmy Uso. Now, there was no Cody Rhodes. He's still not on TV. Now, as you guys know, it's been reported, it's been out that Cody Rhodes and Brandy had their second child. Obviously, Cody was at the hospital. Him and Brandy, I know Brandy was pregnant, but him and Brandy just had their first child. Brandy was pregnant. Okay. Yeah, so, now let's go into the rest of SmackDown. Let's go into the rest of the news and rumors here. Chelsea Green, Alba Fire, Ambush, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. Was it a tag team? Was it one-on-one? I don't know. Now, they do have NBA 2K26. My Career just came out. It actually just came out. Some people pre-ordered or got it for free because they're allowed by 2K. Sammy Soul as a friend is Sammy as a champ. Jay Cardell is the number one contender for Timmy Stratton Championship. Randy Orton gave Nick Aldis a fireball wiki. That's not Randy Orton. That's R-Truth. R-Truth gave him something, so he's still bad days. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton are still feuding. McIntyre escaped from Randy Orton again. We got the Ring of Honor. The pay-per-view, think it tonight. So Brandy Rose and Cody Rhodes announced their new baby boy. I think it's Lonnie Ellie Wanos. Is that the name? Cody, Brandy, Olivia, and Lonnie. Pretty sure that's one, right? I think that's one. Bo Dalek questioned the brotherhood of the Street Profits. Now, during the segment with John Cena and Logan Paul, John Cena had to apologize to that kid, the same kid, that night he turned heel, back in March, on March 17, when he called out that kid, and they posted it on their YouTube channel. Yeah, that same kid was in Leon, France. John Cena apologized to get accepted. He wore the same clothes that he wore when John Cena turned heel, and when he called him out. So that was pretty good. As for the news and rumors in AEW, latest on Rehab Jackson, AEW pay-per-view 2 mats. Now, there is no excuse for what Jackson did. AEW decided to keep original All-Out Showtime. We got Ring of Honor Death by Dishonor post-show media scrum. That can be like at 11:30. There's also news and rumors. Vince McMahon's secret 80th birthday party. It would lead McIntyre, Sheamus, Titus O'Neil, Miz and Marie, Jerry Lawler. So Vince McMahon celebrated his 80th birthday. Wow, that's crazy. He's 80 years old. Now we do got some news and rumors on TNA wrestling. Santino laid down the law. Trick Williams is still the Impact champion. When's he gonna lose it? There's still reports on Chris Jericho leaving AEW, returning to WWE. Tony Khan beats on Jericho's return. Okay. Alright, you know what? I think I got everything here. Oh, wait. We got Christian Miracle can lead the Rezone Slam 2015. Who will lead next week? Alright. Now let's go into the other news and rumors here. Hold on, I'm trying to show y'all the other podcasters here. Alright, come on.
The MFTs then attack him on the floor, leading to a spinning solo for a 2 count. But of course, out comes Big Jim. He quickly gets beaten down, but then here comes Jacob Fatu, attacking Talatonga from the Timekeeper's area. The babyfaces drag the MFT out of the arena. Sammy then delivers a Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2.5 count. Solo escapes the Haluva kick. He lures Sammy to the announce desk where he hits him with the spinning solo onto the desk. After a second commercial break, Sammy delivers a Sunset Bomb for a 2 count. He avoids the Samoan Spike. He delivers the Haluva kick and then delivers one more Haluva kick as Sami Zayn wins the U.S. Championship, garnering a huge reaction from this crowd in what I thought was a very good match, Neil, and one of Solo Sikoa's better matches here. And of course, a very great performance from Sami Zayn, and an incredible soundtrack to it all from London. Or, sorry, Leon, sorry.
Absolutely, no. I agree entirely. This was by a mile the wrestling match of the show. It was a very good match. Sami is a tremendous worker anyway, so you kind of expect that from him. But I agree with you that Solo, I think, sort of upped his game for this one. Part of that is working with Sami Zayn, I've no doubt. But he was convincing in this, I think, in a way that sometimes he isn't. And he didn't have to lean too much on the MFTs because they were neutralized pretty early on by Jacob and Jimmy and sort of ran off into the crowd, and I thought that's all to the good. So I was somewhat surprised by this result. Not shocked, to my very core or anything, because this title is still fairly low down the pecking order, but hopefully Sami can do something with it. It's nice to see him with a title. It feels very much as though creatively he was on track for something like this on perhaps the world, if not the double.
I personally love when wrestlers have like these highly produced presentations and your Kevin Owenses and your Eddie Kingstons of the world are redeem these nuts. Like, where is this guy filming? Like, I am here for the acknowledgement of that stuff in kayfabe. It's one of my, I mean this so sincerely, it's one of my favorite promos ever. He's on a wheelie chair, and he just wheels away from whoever's interviewing him. I forget who it is, but he's like, I went too far. Like, it's just the best. I am obsessed with that promo. I post it anytime I have the opportunity to.
I'm going to look, because Kevin Owens won me over first when he told Shane McMahon to shut the hell up with the best in the world. And second, try not to laugh, Cresta, when Ezekiel got in the ring and Kevin Owens did.
We'll get to some shout out. This broadcast is partnered by Dakio. Look, I won't lie to you, but good to have you here to join me. So we're gonna do a SmackDown recap review, then we'll do the preview and predictions for Clash in Paris, and then we'll wrap it up right there. So let's go ahead and move things along. Thank you all so much for being here. You could have chose anyone else. You chose not, but imagine if she beat Rhea Ripley at WrestlePalooza. Ooh, okay, we got something. Like, I want something. WrestlePalooza is going to be big. I can already tell you right now, that's probably going to be a 7 to, gives you one clean, organized workspace.
Who is on that roster that could ultimately challenge for the United on this Friday evening, wherever you may be? Friday Night SmackDown from Leon France tonight. Great crowd. Very, very energetic crowd tonight, singing along, chanting along. Basically, if you were in the ring, they were into you, for sure. It doesn't matter how boring or how uneventful some of the segments were on this show tonight. They chanted to their heart's content, and they sang and had a good time over the course of the last 2 hours. All in all, I enjoyed this show more than I did last week's show from Dublin, which I did watch, though I wasn't live last week. I did catch up with it I didn't really enjoy last week's show outside of the Becky Lynch opening promo and the John Cena and Logan Paul face-to-face last week. This week, there was a lot more going on, and was a nice little appetizer before we get to Clash in Paris on Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. There really isn't anything major as far as story on Friday Night SmackDown, which is probably their Achilles heel. It is a major problem. There needs to be a centralized story. There needs to be a story. There needs to be characters that this show revolves around. Right now, they don't have that. Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion. He is not even that guy. I don't know when he's coming back. I'm assuming he'll be back on the road to WrestlePalooza. But even when he is on the show, it still doesn't feel like he is the most important thing on the show. There really isn't a major storyline, so I don't really have any major talking points. See, one of the best things about what I do and where the most fun comes from is when story happens on television and we get to talk about the story. How the story came off, how the story was presented, how the characters came off and were presented on television, where the story goes into next week. WWE is so middle of the road that I don't even have anything positively or negatively to say about any of the stories. They either aren't happening, and if they are, they're not exciting whatsoever, and if you miss a week or two or three, you're not going to miss a fucking thing because nothing really was progressed. Nothing is overly bad. Nothing is really good either. It's so incredibly middle of the road. It's like the old senior citizen at the nursing home who wants his plain vanilla ice cream with nothing on it. It's basically what it is. Even though we all know this show is better when there's vanilla ice cream served and there's some sort of toppings, maybe 2 or 3 extra toppings. How about some hot fudge and a little cherry on top? I don't want to make you guys hungry, but it's basically what SmackDown is. Boring, plain, vanilla ice cream. I'm not even talking about Breyer's ice cream or Turkey Hill ice cream or Tillamook ice cream. How many of you guys know about Tillamook ice cream? Blue Bunny ice cream. Friendly's ice cream. Ben & Jerry's ice cream. They are so vanilla that there's just really nothing to get excited about. That's the problem. That is the problem. The biggest thing that happened on tonight's show was that Sami Zayn won the United States Championship. Fantastic. Sami Zayn is a former WWE Tag Team Champion. Sami Zayn is a former WWE Intercontinental Champion. Sami Zayn is now a United States Champion. He is one championship away from winning a Grand Slam for his resume, or becoming a Grand Slam champion and putting that on his resume. I don't know where to even get excited about it because the United States Championship has been treated like such an afterthought, it really doesn't even fucking matter. And stop with the Sami Zayn hate. It's forced. Fuck off. I don't know where all this forced narrative on hating Sami Zayn is coming from. You can cut that shit out and leave that shit at the fucking door. There's nobody that hates Sami Zayn legitimately. Nobody. It's all fake, and it's all forced. There are bigger things to worry about when it comes to pro wrestling, and there's other things that we should be hating a lot more than Sami fucking Zayn. Okay? He won the United States Championship. He beat Solo Sikoa, who basically he's been feuding for the better part of 3 fucking years. I don't want to see it ever again. Now, the rumor is that we're going to be moving on from this. The rumor is the Wyatt Six are going to be feuding with the MFTs. I'm not sure how many of you are excited by that news. I know I'm not. But at least it gets the MFTs, A, a fresh opponent, and B, it moves Sami Zayn the fuck on from this bloodline vortex. He won the United States Championship. It was a great moment. It was a good call to happen in Lyon, France. No more, no less. Where does he go from here? Where does Sami Zayn go from here? Who is on that roster that could ultimately challenge for the United States Championship? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Carmelo Hayes would have been that type of guy, but Carmelo Hayes is stuck in a fucking tag team with The Miz, which I'll talk about in a little bit. There's nobody else that's really jumping off the page. Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest, Aleister Black. Maybe we go the Aleister Black route. I think that would be fantastic. It would give Sami Zayn somebody new to work with. It would give Aleister Black someone to work with that is going to generate emotion. Something that he's been sorely missing since returning to the WWE. Or maybe it's an NXT call-up like Ethan Page, who apparently is in the rumor mill. Supposedly WWE is very happy with the pairing that we see on NXT with Chelsea Green and Ethan Page. Maybe he could show up on Friday Night SmackDown and be that great heel for a babyface United States champion in Sami Zayn. We don't know. We'll see how that all kind of progresses. But nobody's really jumping off the page as far as a clear challenger for the United States champion. We got a couple of baby faces in the mix. Like I said, Fatu, Damian Priest. Not many on the heel side, though. We'll see what happens. Sami Zayn is the new United States champion. Again, really nothing to get overly excited about. It was just a moment that they pulled the trigger on in Lyon, France, because they knew that they would get a reaction. I don't think anybody had it on their bingo card for me to be sitting here, you to be watching me sitting here, and then me asking you guys, how do you feel about Mello Don't Miz? I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I quite like it. It may be the best fucking thing on the entire show. I'm not even lying when I say that. I'm not even fucking bullshitting you. They may be the best thing on the fucking show because it's such a simple story to follow, and it's actually something that's been progressing week by week. That's the type of shit that I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be some overly fucking drawn-out Academy Award-winning fucking cinema. Though I love that. The show desperately needs that. But man, if we had 3 or 4 other little things going on, like Mello Don't Miz, and the simple story that is Mello Don't Miz, this show would be a lot better off than what we are getting right now. They've been the best thing on the show for the better part of a month. And I mean that. For some reason, the tag team is actually working out quite well. They're gelling. They work really good. The crowd is into them. Somehow the Miz is over. He's more over than Carmelo Hayes is. You would think it would be the other way around. You'd think the fans would want to see the young kid get more opportunities, but here they are cheering for the fucking Miz in 2025. Nobody ever said pro wrestling fans were a bright bunch. So I'm not going to disrespect the Miz. Most of everything he's given, he usually makes work anyway. He is definitely a Hall of Famer, first ballot, no question about it. I could see why they paired him up with the Miz, Mello. I don't know why they abandoned it for a little bit. I guess Miz had to do American Gladiators. That's the only thing I could really come up with. But that's not an excuse to keep Carmelo Hayes off of television for 2 fucking months while the Miz was hosting American Gladiators. I guess it made us miss him and want him more. Mello. They have wins over Fraxium. They have wins over Motor City Machine Guns. Tonight they got the Street Profits. I genuinely think WWE dropped the ball on Mello Don't Miz tonight. Supposedly they were in a number one contenders match with the Street Profits, and the winner of this tag team match tonight goes on to Clash in Paris on Sunday and wrestles the Wyatts at the PLE. I genuinely think that WWE missed by not having Mello Don't Miz at the PLE. Now we're stuck with a Wyatts versus Street Profits match, and quite honestly, I don't give a shit. They are the best act on SmackDown right now, not named John Cena or Drew McIntyre. And the story is simple. Mello believes in The Miz taking him to the next level. Meanwhile, The Miz is simply using Mello to get where he used to be. And Mello don't see it yet. He kind of does, but he don't, because he's blinded by the veteran presence. He's blinded by Miz gaslighting him. And he's blinded by Championship Gold. He believes The Miz is going to take him to Championship Gold. It's a simple fucking story to follow, and it's a simple fucking story to tell. I don't know why they gave the Profits the win tonight, when I definitely figured, and a lot of people figured, that The Miz coming face-to-face again with the Wyatts is where they were going to go. But the way the match ended, it may seem like Mello realizes that Miz failed him and may end up on his own anyway. John Cena and Logan Paul had a face-to-face that opened the show tonight. Excellent stuff, as always. Makes you think what we would have gotten if John Cena was a babyface all year, instead of being a heel for the first 6 months. We'll go over that and anything else that happened on the show tonight, which basically the top 2 talking points here is basically the entire show. Thank you guys for joining me. I feel like it's going to be a quick stream. I feel like it is going to be in and out tonight on a Friday night, which is partially the reason why I took Friday night last week off, because apparently Friday is just a dead night and nobody gives a shit.
Exactly.
But the show sucks, so I'm not really surprised. This is your Friday Night SmackDown post show right here on Off the Script. It is your Friday, August 29th, 2025. I'll tell you what, though. This August is shaping up to be, if not the best, the second best August that we've ever had. So, shout out to you guys. Content up on the channel, man. We've been uploading, speaking their native language. Then calls himself the original disruptor and said he's been knocking people out with brass knuckles for 20 years, or since 20 years ago. But he said word life. He's been doing this since his word life days. Cena says Paul's influence is not what it used to be. And then he starts making fun of Logan Paul, saying that he just saw a top 25 of the top 25 influencers.
Going to another podcaster, Luigi.
Right now, happening. Enjoy it.
AEW pay-per-view is heading to HBO Max for All Out.
It's like that dickhead with the title on SmackDown. It's Poison Runner! Oh, here we go. Oh, why we do so? Now. Fight forever! Fight forever!
Going to Salamanca.
Which I enjoy. Maybe not everybody does, but I enjoy the hell out of these early shows. We got an early Raw coming up on Monday, too. 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Netflix. But SmackDown was in Lyon, France tonight. The go-home show to Clash in Paris this Sunday. We have 3 championship matches on that show coming up this weekend, but we had one tonight. We were supposed to have 2. We ended up only having one, and that championship changed hands in the main event for the first time in his career. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the United States champion. He beat Solo Sikoa in the main event, and he won the U.S. title in France. And the fans were very happy to see it. They were celebrating with him, big pyro celebration there at the end. We were supposed to have a women's tag team title match tonight. That got changed. One of the participants in the match not medically cleared at the last minute, so we did not get that match as planned. John Cena was on the show tonight. He was supposed to respond to Logan Paul after the attack that we saw at the end of SmackDown last week when Logan Paul knocked him out backstage. And he did respond, but he responded with words. He used his words. He did not use his fists. He's a very nice guy, this John Cena. Gets knocked out last week at the end of the show, but he remained very calm and cut another promo on Logan Paul. And we have a new match added to the Clash from Paris card. So I was wondering if they were going to bump that up from 5 matches to 6. They have. It is not Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre. I know that was the rumor that was going around the last few days, that they might add that to the show. That is not what the general manager has added to the Clash in Paris card. Instead, it will be a WWE Tag Team Championship match with the Wyatt Six, defending against the team that became number 1 contenders tonight. Tonight. Feels weird to say tonight. It's still light outside. Look how light it is outside. We'll say tonight, though. In France, it was tonight. So, we are going to talk about that. And yes, I know sunlight. It's amazing. Believe it or not, I actually do get sunlight every now and then that shines through. It's kind of nice. Not usually the case when I'm live at 11:30 at night. Or if this was an AEW pay-per-view, I would be going live at 12:30 in the morning. There would be no light shining through. It's kind of nice. You know, I used to do these live pay-per-view prediction streams years ago, and there was always light shining through. I rather enjoy it, as opposed to being a vampire. It was a newsworthy show strictly because of the title change in the main event. Outside of Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa, which I will say, once the MFTs got removed from the equation, stop me if you've heard this before, the MFTs get involved in the main event. Once they were out of the picture, they actually went on to have a good main event, and the crowd was super into it. But outside of that title change in the main event, a very average episode of SmackDown, which is what we're going to talk about here. I have a feeling it's going to go real quick. This is your Friday Night SmackDown review here on Friday afternoon. It is August 29th, 2025. I am the Solid Monster. For those of you who are with me, because I know I told everybody I'm probably going to go live at 8 p.m. Probably going to watch it early, but go live at 8 p.m. But I said, you know what? Fuck that. There's not going to be a whole hell of a lot going on this show. Let's just get it out of the way now. And get some people maybe who get to tune in as we go along here who normally wouldn't be able to tune in. So thank you for being with me. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. Super chats are open. If any of them come in, I know we had one. If any of them come in, I'll be reading them in a little bit. And I also want to just give a mention here because I did mention Clash in Paris is coming up on Sunday. I will be live for the Clash in Paris review. Not immediately after the show. We're going to hold off on that until 8 p.m. That you can hold me to. 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night. Which, of course, means that the sound-off will be going up a day early for the second weekend in a row. So keep your eye out for that tomorrow. That'll be episode 927. There's also a video up on the channel right now, a full 25-minute segment that I recorded on the Raja Jackson incident. So all of that content up now or will be coming your way this weekend. Do I burn in sunlight? It's funny. Very funny. People walk around holding garlic when I walk into the room. I guess we'll find out if enough of the light shines through here. I may burn up here on the stream. That'll get some views. So let's start from the top here. After some highlights of the John Cena Logan Paul interaction last week on the show, and Logan leaving him laying after a right hand, a knockout shot at the end of the show,
You can do it yourself.
they cut to a Mercedes arriving, not two Mercedes. There were no women's championships for her to challenge for tonight. They cut to a Mercedes arriving outside the building. Logan Paul emerged. He entered the arena. The camera followed him through the gorilla position. And he came out. Thunderous boos here in Lyon. John Cena said he was a parasite. And it seems to him that the people here seem to think so too. He calls himself a disruptor. I'm not a parasite. He says I'm a disruptor. And the crowd chanted, "Shut the fuck up," which the Netflix censors attempted to censor here. Can I see myself in the mirror? I don't know. I haven't tried recently. I don't know if I see my reflection or not. He says he made TKO $6.6 billion in about 6 seconds. Put WWE on Netflix and ESPN. TKO can credit him, I guess, for all of the media rights deals that they have made. He says Cena is the one that represents the old institutionalized version of WWE. Calls himself an athlete, or an athletic phenom, who will push Cena to his limits and call Cena an imposter. But he called him an imposter in French. He says wrestling is changing, and he is wrestling. And if you don't go with the change, then you will be left behind. And of course, he gets interrupted by John Cena's music. And John Cena walks out here in Lyon, and he gets a gigantic, monstrous reaction from these fans. And they sing along to the lyrics of his theme. Once in the ring, he points over to ring announcer Mark Nash, who does his usual ring intros for Cena as if he was wrestling here. It's a fucking promo. He wasn't even wrestling on this show. But he got the full introduction that he normally gets. He called Logan stupid, says that you can't do it on your own, you need the fans, because the fans hold the keys to whether or not Logan can join their family, whether or not Logan could have matches over the course of a 25-year career. Cena says he sees so much potential in Logan. He said the people get angry because they want to like him, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who says? I don't know where he got that from. He's looking at Logan. He's like, look at you. The people want to like you. They want to love you. I'm like, speak for yourself, buddy. He says Logan is not a disruptor. He's a wannabe. Logan claims that he wants to raise the business to new levels, but he doesn't put any effort into trying to understand what it is they actually do here. Cena calls himself the original disruptor. Said that he was knocking people out with brass knucks 20 years ago, but his read word life on them. Cena says Logan's influence is not what it used to be, and that Logan was missing from a list that he just saw yesterday of the top 25 influencers. I did not see this list. I don't really particularly care who's on the list, but evidently Logan Paul was not on this list. Cena says when Logan makes the front page of the news now, it's for all the wrong reasons, and that Logan uses WWE to save his ass. He says the fans don't fear change, they see through him. And they chant, he's an asshole. Cena then speaks in French, he gets cheered for it. Logan responds in French, he gets booed for it. Cena says he'll show Logan what respect in our family actually means. And he leaves the ring. He goes, hold on a second. And he exits the ring and he starts walking down the aisle. Now he's still cutting a promo here, but as he's walking down the aisle, he's cutting his promo on Logan. He says respect means that people understand that if you're mean to them, that you were just having a bad day. And so what does he do? He walks up the aisle, he finds the same little kid that he insulted. Now you remember that, I think it was the first Raw, where he cut that first heel promo, back in March. So this would have been St. Patrick's Day maybe? They were in Brussels, okay, they were in Belgium, and he was cutting that heel promo, and he insulted this one kid in the crowd. And the camera cut to the kid, and he looked crestfallen, right? He was devastated by all the horrible things that John Cena was saying to him. He found this kid. This kid was right there in the crowd, right along the aisleway. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, who is this kid related to? Okay, what employee is this kid related to that they were able to find him very conveniently here in the crowd in France? Before it was Brussels, now it's France. And he apologized to the kid. He apologized to the kid for having a bad day in the past. Meanwhile, this kid, he could not even be bothered to look up at John. John Cena is literally right there in his face. The camera is right there in his face. And this kid has his face buried in his cell phone. Because he's probably very quickly trying to navigate to the camera app, doesn't know where the fucking icon is, or he's all nervous. He's looking at his phone. John Cena, dude, it's in your face. Look up. So he's looking at his phone the entire time. And honestly, I think it's a sad commentary on just the state of society today. That this is what people do. This is what kids do. Instead of enjoying the moment and looking at the moment with your own eyes, they're looking at it through a glass screen. They got their faces buried in their phones instead of looking up and just enjoying the moment. I know because I'm guilty of the same thing. And it's sad. Eventually, the kid did look up. He got to look at Cena for a few seconds before Cena went back to the ring. Logan says this promo segment just turned into a charity case. So Logan tells him, hey, wrap it up. And Cena called, that's what I was saying about Mark Briscoe the other night. Happy 9th kid, by the way. So Cena called Logan a dickhead and said that he asked for the match, and now you got it. And Cena tells him he has 24 hours to whip himself into shape, otherwise he won't be the one ruining wrestling. Wrestling will be ruining him. And that was the end of the opening segment. The intern's kid, probably. Yeah, some intern who works for WWE. Very possible. This was not as good as the promo segment from last week. Another strong promo, though, nonetheless, from Cena. Logan was fine, but I thought Cena was strong here. A bad day, though. He's chalking up his heel turn to having a bad day for 5 months. It wasn't like it was just one day. He had a bad day for 5 months. Despite Logan knocking him out at the end of the show last week, Cena didn't see fit to lay a hand on him. There was no physicality between them whatsoever. Him no-selling the attack, I thought was very stupid. Not anything that we should be surprised by, because he also no-sold losing the WWE Championship coming out of SummerSlam. He didn't seem too bothered by it. But I just thought, given the way the show ended last week, and I know Cena is the kind of guy, he's always, he's got to turn the other cheek, and he's got to be the bigger man and all that, but I don't know. Didn't seem to be a whole lot of anger coming from Cena. He's a very forgiving man. I don't know, if somebody punched me in the face and knocked me out on the floor in front of the world, I'd probably want to come out and at least try to punch the guy back. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. We go backstage. Kathy Kelly was talking to the Street Profits and B-Fab about facing The Miz and Carmelo Hayes tonight in a #1 contenders match. We then got a rare Bo Dallas appearance. Yes, Mark Briscoe now has 9 kids. He just had baby Mac.
I am the last.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck that tree. Hey, Chris Ludek. Thank you for the learning tree. Appreciate it. Solomonster is live. Oh my god, I didn't know SmackDown was on so early. Oh, now you do. Now you know. But yes, congrats to Mark Briscoe and to Cody Rhodes. Cody and Brandy Rhodes. They had their second child. They have some catching up to do if they want to catch up to Mark Briscoe. I didn't even know that Brandy was pregnant. They kept that very hush-hush. They kept that a big secret. So congrats to both couples. But we got a rare Bo Dallas appearance here. Not Uncle Howdy. We got Bo Dallas, who walked up and interrupted this Street Profits interview. He said the Wyatt Six are a real family. Because he asked the Profits, are you a real family? Because the Wyatt Six are. He says, when you come for us and fail, you're going to find out if he really is your brother. And then Dallas walked away. More spooky riddles. We were supposed to get a Women's Tag Team Championship match with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defending their titles against the Secret Hervis combo of Piper Niven and Alba Fire. But the Secret Hervis attacked the champions in the aisleway as they were making their entrance. and they injured Charlotte Flair to the point where she had to be helped to the back, which meant no women's tag team title match. And instead, it was converted into a singles match between Alexa Bliss and Chelsea Green. Now, this makes the challengers look like a bunch of fucking idiots here because they just cost themselves a tag team championship match. But Piper Niven was supposed to be a part of this. Piper Niven was not here. We had Chelsea Green and we had Alba Fire. They mentioned that Piper Niven was not medically cleared to even travel. So I assume that means she wasn't even there in France. I don't know what the issue is. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but I'll cut them some slack because they were planning on having a tag team title match with 2 of the 3 members of the Secret Service. I don't know that they were planning a title change. I can't imagine they were planning a title change here. So honestly, it wouldn't have been a big deal if you would have just substituted Chelsea for Piper. They decided, okay, we don't want to do a title match with Chelsea involved. So this was their last minute decision on how to go about dealing with the situation. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Again, hopefully whatever it is with Piper Niven, it's nothing serious. So we got a singles match, like I said, between Alexa Bliss and Chelsea Green. Late in the match, Bliss went for Twisted Bliss. Chelsea got her knees up. Bliss and Green, they both avoided each other's finish. Alexa rolled up Chelsea for the win. After the match, Chelsea and Alba Fire attacked Alexa Bliss. Charlotte limps back out, comes down to the ring to try to fight off the heels, but Chelsea put Flair down with a mistimed Unprettier, and then Alba hit Alexa with a falling facebuster. It looked like Charlotte took the move before Chelsea even went for the move. Again, it looked very mistimed here. That's why it came off so poorly. I actually put that on Chelsea, when I went back and rewatched it. If you go back and watch, and you may not be able to, if you're going to watch on USA later, because I'm almost positive they're going to edit this out. But if you look at what happened here, Chelsea always does this little jump up before she hits the Unprettier. It looked like she did a little jump before the actual jump, and Charlotte, she's face down. She can only go based on the movement that she feels. She probably thought that Chelsea was jumping, but she wasn't. So it just came off very badly there. But again, my guess is that this gets edited off the USA version that's going to air later tonight. You guys can chime in the comments later and let me know. As far as the rest of this, it's hard to really say anything about it because this was just a replacement for what they actually wanted to do on the show. The match itself, it was decent. It was what it was. Didn't go very long. It's probably not going to have any significance whatsoever. And we'll see if Piper comes back quickly. Then they'll probably just do the match next week on TV. And if she doesn't, I don't know. I don't know if they'll go with Chelsea and Alba or they'll just move on to somebody else. Sami Zayn was interviewed backstage by Jackie Redmond before his match later in the show with Solo Sikoa. Says he feels confident as he did when he main evented WrestleMania. He spoke French to the crowd and they cheered, which is a very easy way to get over with the locals. Just speak their language. They love that. Unless you're Logan Paul, then they don't. After a commercial, we got a video with Aleister Black cutting a creepy promo on Damian Priest. Priest talked about, Priest spoke with Kathy Kelly after the video aired, so this was live. And Priest said that Aleister speaks and dresses like he's educated, and he knows that he's educated in the martial arts. Black wants to be just like him, but he's not. Priest said that he would teach Aleister what it is like to be like him and where he is from. When they meet at some point, there's no date for this match. They haven't announced the match yet. Priest said that he would teach Black a lot about pain, and he would enjoy every bit of violence that he inflicts upon him. They added a match late in the day between Michin and Kiana James. Now, we have not seen Kiana James on SmackDown. I think she might have had a main event match, but we have not seen Kiana James actually wrestle on television in a very long time. The last time we would have seen Kiana James in a match, she was still on the Raw brand. She had just been called up in the draft. So that's how far back that goes. So they threw this match out there late in the day in the preview. And the idea is that Michin has to get past Kiana James if she wants to get a U.S. title match with Julia. Right? So that's the premise of this. That sets this whole thing up. Julia came out to the ring with Kiana, who went to attack Michin with her purse as soon as the bell rang. And Michin ducks the purse shot, rolls her up, and pins her in about 5 seconds to win the match. A great debut here for Kiana James. She was Vinci'd. They Vinci'd this woman here on the show. Now, after the match, Julia and Kiana, they attacked Michin. Julia hit her with a knee to the face, threw her into the barricades outside, and then finally hit a curb stomp on the ring steps, which you would think would be a big deal and the announcers would make a big deal about it, but they really didn't. So, Drew McIntyre delivering a Claymore kick to Cody Rhodes into the announce desk is this catastrophic injury angle, and the announcers react to it like it's a big deal, but curb stomping someone on the ring steps only gets a mild reaction. It's a little strange to me. Look, this was fucking terrible. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this. I mean, Julia was fine doing her attack when the match was over, but this was fucking terrible, and it's a great metaphor, I think, for Julia's reign so far as the time and the effort that has been put into it, which is not much. Not much at all. Now, Michin winning this match means we're going to get a Michin-Julia match soon, which is great. It can't come a week too soon because Julia went the entire month of August defending her championship, and fuck that, just having a match at all on television once the entire month of August, and that was the first day of this month. And that's it. We've barely seen her since. She has not been in the ring since. It has just been a very uneventful, forgettable, terrible run so far since she won that championship from Zelina Vega. And the only person she's wrestled since beating Zelina Vega is Zelina Vega. And that's it. And I just don't understand how you go from doing what they're doing with the Intercontinental title in the women's division on Monday and looking at what they're doing with the U.S. title on Friday. Part of it has to do with the fact, a big part of it has to do with the fact that Becky Lynch is holding the Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch has had multiple title defenses on PLEs. When was the last time you saw the women's U.S. title defended on a PLE? Fuck if I know. Becky Lynch being in that spot means something. Obviously, Julia or Zelina Vega doesn't mean nearly as much. And so that championship, which was introduced first, that title was introduced in December. We didn't get the IC title until January. But the U.S. title has been just completely marginalized and almost forgotten about. They've done a good job with the IC title on Monday. I wish they would put that much effort in on Friday because someone like Julia could really use it. She's still in the process of being established on this show. They've done a piss poor job of that. Shit like this is not going to help. Drew McIntyre made his way out to the ring next. He looked around ringside, just in case Randy Orton was lurking in the shadows somewhere. McIntyre said, Michael Cole, you kiss Cody Rhodes' ass all the time, so do you have a medical update on Cody? And Cole said, nope. And McIntyre said, I didn't think so. So he got into the ring, he told Randy Orton, come on out, let the fans hear your song. So Randy Orton made his entrance, and the fans did indeed sing his song here in Lyon, as they did last year at Backlash when he was on that show. McIntyre said, well, that was special. And he questioned if Orton attacked him last week out of friendship with Cody Rhodes. McIntyre said Cody has no friends, called him a politician. McIntyre recalled Cody showing no hesitation when he targeted Randy's back during their finals match in the King of the Ring tournament. And then he said Orton is an idiot if he thinks that Cody is his friend. Orton said McIntyre made a compelling argument. But if you think that I dropped your ass last week for Cody, you're wrong. Says, I dropped you last week because I think you're a prick. McIntyre dropped Orton with a Glasgow kiss. He waited for Orton to get back up and went for a Claymore kick. Orton ducked, so Drew just went flying. Landed on his back. Orton strikes the Viper's pose. He's getting all set up for an RKO. Here comes a referee, here comes Shane Helms, and here comes two security geeks. They run into the ring to stop Orton. and Orton dropped both security geeks. He goes to give an RKO to Shane Helms. Hurricane, as they call. They didn't even call him Hurricane Helms. Just like, hey, Hurricane's out there. Not exactly. I didn't see the cape. I didn't see the mask. That's Shane Helms. Two different people. But he goes to give him an RKO and he stops short. And he pats Helms on the shoulder. And then, of course, ultimately drops him with an RKO. And then Orton sets up for a punt kick to McIntyre, who rolled out of the ring to avoid the kick. This was fine. You know, McIntyre is still trying to create friction between Cody and Randy. Orton wouldn't bite. I thought they were going to make this match official for Clash in Paris. There were rumors about it. I thought that was the purpose of this segment on the show. Happening here on the Go Home show was to set up a last-minute addition to the card. There was no mention of this being a Paris match. There will not be any mention of this being a Paris match because the sixth and final match on the card on Sunday was added later in the show. They have elected to put a WWE Tag Team title match on the show instead. Which, I mean, this would have been the bigger match. But anytime they want to give the tag titles some shine on a PLE is good because they typically don't. Like, those titles being defended at SummerSlam was the first time they were defended on a PLE. I mean, WrestleMania? Were they even defended at WrestleMania? They weren't, actually. Now that I think about it, they were not defended at WrestleMania. That's right. That's when the New Day beat the Viking Raiders. And the SmackDown teams got left off the show, so they had that TLC match on television the following week. So it just goes to show you, they don't get defended on these PLEs very often. But that'll make match number 6 on Sunday. I cannot see McIntyre challenging Cody for the championship anywhere but WrestlePalooza.
I really like my celebration. When I get out there, I want to let the world know how much that really meant to me.
WrestlePalooza? The only thing that might prevent that is if Cody's schedule of filming for Street Fighter really does extend deep into September, which it sounds like it will. Then there's a chance that they might actually hold off on that until Crown Jewel, but my guess is we get the match on that show. If that's the case, then you got to do Orton and McIntyre first. That would have to be a TV main event. So now we just wait to find out when they're going to actually make the match. They did not make any mention of that being on the show next week from what I saw. Backstage, The Miz was warming up when Carmelo Hayes approached him, and Hayes took issue with Miz stealing his wins over the last few weeks. Miz tried to explain to him, but we're winning. Hayes said, no, you're winning. And Miz said that we're a team and we share the glory. Bo Dallas walked in. He said there are always different perceptions, but perceptions are not reality. I am, he said. Can you handle that? And then he left. Even more riddles from Bo Dallas. Elsewhere in the back, Nick Aldis complained to Randy Orton about his behavior and him attacking security. And Hurricane. Orton is nice enough to present him then with a fine bit of product placement here because he pulls out a little miniature bottle here in 2025. Jade says, when I beat you, all that dies, as does this fantasy that the two of us were ever on the same level. Neither of these women came off terribly likable here in this segment. Like, I'm watching this thinking, who is supposed to be the baby face here? I guess they're both supposed to be baby faces, but they come off as heels. It's just a weird dynamic. I've said that about Tiffany for most of the year. Just the way that she cuts a promo and the way she carries herself. It still screams heel to me. But I don't think either of these women are coming off terribly likable in these segments with each other. We cut to Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. They're outside in the parking lot where they belong. Why they were in the parking lot, I don't know. Solo is standing out there, no shirt, he's ready for his match. He's got his U.S. title. Maybe he forgot the belt in the trunk of his car, and he needs an escort to go outside. But they're standing in the parking lot, and he's cutting a promo. And he says, Sami Zayn, one Samoan spike tonight, and it's all over. And that led into our main event, which was Solo Sikoa defending the United States Championship against Sami Zayn. Sami sent Solo out to the floor. He set up for a flip dive. Tala Tonga moved Solo out of the way, and the show went to a commercial. We were less than a minute into this match. we already have nonsense with the MFTs. Michael Cole said that this was Sammy's first title shot since last October. And Sammy hit a flip dive and then he threw Solo back in the ring. While the referee was checking on Solo, JC Mateo and Tonga Loa, they grabbed Sammy's legs and they pulled him back to the floor. They took some cheap shots. They threw Sammy back into the ring. Solo hit a spinning solo, but only for a near fall. Jimmy Uso ran out. He went after the MFTs. The numbers were too much. Jacob Fatu's music hit. Fatu then emerged from the timekeeper's area, fought with Tala Tonga. He ran the big man into the ring post. In the ring, Sammy dropped Solo with a Blue Thunder Bomb for a very good near fall. Fatu and Jimmy, they fought off the MFTs outside until they just disappeared. They all disappeared from ringside, and honestly, that's when things really got good here. Sammy set up for a haluva kick. Solo rolled out of the ring. So Sammy went outside to follow him, but he got caught, and he got planted on the announce desk, which did not break. Planted on top of the announce desk with a spinning Solo. That took us into the commercial. And during the commercial, Solo hit his second spinning Solo. After the final break was over, they ended up battling for position on the ropes. Sammy hit a sunset bomb, only got 2. Crowd was super into this, though. Crowd was solidly behind Sami Zayn. But all these near falls, like, the fans were really into this here. Solo came back with a Samoan drop, went up top, hit a big splash off the top for 2 of his own. Sammy was able to evade the Samoan spike, rolled up Solo for 2, then he hit an exploder into the corner. He wanted the follow-up here with the haluva kick, ate a super kick instead as he came out of the corner. But he managed to hit the haluva kick in the other corner, followed by a second haluva kick for good measure, and he pins Solo Sikoa to become for the first time in his career the brand new United States champion. Sami Zayn picks up the win. He celebrated, the fans celebrated, they shot off a big pyro celebration here. And that is how they closed the show. They closed the show here with the feel-good moment.
The law here in this
the main event was good. Once the MFTs got driven off is when this got good. Because they bring everything down. The way they're used, it's the same nonsense every week. So once they were taken out of the picture here, that's when the main event got good. I don't know how many more weeks I need to see this show close with some variation of the MFTs and Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. Actually, I know the answer. The answer is none. The answer is none. Because I see it every week. It never needs to happen again. But it will. You know it. I know it. It will. It will happen again and again and again. You can bet on that. But this was an average episode of SmackDown outside of the title change. I would say if there's anything you should check out the last half of the main event when they came back from commercial. From that point on till the end, until Sammy won the championship, good stuff. And the John Cena promo as well, good stuff. Not as good as last week, good stuff. At the beginning and the very end. Everything else in the middle, very basic, average stuff. And that was the final SmackDown. Before Clash in Paris on Sunday, we have, you know what, I'll wait until tomorrow to go through the card. I'm going to go through the updated card and predictions on the sound-off. That'll be tomorrow, episode 927. Let's check the Twitter poll. I know it's still early in the day yet, but we do have a poll up here. What did you think of SmackDown before Clash in Paris? 65.7% thumbs up, 34.3% thumbs down. So if you haven't watched the show yet, once you do, you can go ahead and vote in that poll. It will be there for you.
You need to don't ever point at my wife or any. Don't point at my wife or any descendants.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Peacock pay-per-view. Yes, it is. Not for NXT. For the main roster, it is. For NXT, the NXT PLEs will... And Cameron Spencer, your thoughts on people who think that Raja Jackson was already banned from Kick? Probably takes a lot, for the most part. Emperor Comet much love to say if there's anything you should check out the last half of the main event when they came back from commercial. From that point on, video, if you missed it, over 40,000 views.
At this point, nobody. Jade is much better off as a heel. Have her lose, have her fucking snap, and have her go heel. She's not a likable babyface. She is just awful, not believable, and nobody gives a fuck about anything she has to say. Maybe, just maybe, if she was a heel, she would be better presented. Now, Tiffany said she's undefeated this year. Well, I hope so. You're the fucking women's champion. Jade says, I know a thing or two about being undefeated. Sure you do. They threw everybody and anybody at you. I mean, they picked up the cashier at 7-Eleven to throw in the ring at you in AEW. Undefeated. Give me a break. Jade should be on Evolve, says MK Pandy. Yeah. Yeah. You know, listen, I'm a fan. Nikita Lyons is more deserving of a main roster run than Jade Cargill is. Nikita Lyons is further along in the ring than Jade Cargill is. And Nikita gets shit on for the shit that she's been doing. At least she's trying. At least she puts in effort. Does Nikita. Don't kill the messenger. I said what I said.
More than 30 people.
Don't know how we got there, but hopefully Bianca shows face and we get something there where the title remains on Tiffany Stratton. United States Championship. Solo Sikoa versus Sami Zayn. This was a fun main event. Fun made only by the crowd. The crowd was big into the French-Canadian Sami Zayn. Solo's in control early. He wears down Sami with some big strikes. Sami fights back, gets taken down again. Sami fights back again. He's quickly overturned. Solo hits a running hip attack. Tolatonga! He's at ringside. With the rest of the MFTs. Sami finally throws Solo out of the ring. Hits his somersault plancha. Tonga Loa and JC Jeff Cobb Mateo pull Sami out by the legs as he's getting back into the ring behind the referee's back and attack him outside. Meanwhile, Solo is in the ring waiting for their deed to be done, so they throw Sami back in the ring. He hits a spinning Solo. He thought he had it won, and Solo only gets a 2 count. Jimmy Uso runs out to even the odds, followed by Jacob Fatu. They clean house on the MFTs, and they brawl out of the arena. Sami is ready to hit the haluva kick, but Solo rolls out of the way and rolls to the outside. Sami goes out there. Solo takes advantage. He smashes Sami's face into the announce table, and he hits a spinning Solo. Follows up with a second spinning Solo. So Solo gets back in the ring. Sami makes it back into the ring. Barely, and I mean barely, at the 10 count. They end up on the top turnbuckle. They're battling for position. Sami hits a sunset bomb off the top rope for a 2 count. Solo hits a Samoan drop. Climbs back up top, hits the big Uso splash for a 2 count. Sami is up. He evades a Samoan spike. He rolls Solo up for a 2. He then quickly transitions into an exploder suplex into the corner. He follows that up with a haluva kick, but it wasn't a full-on flush haluva kick. He hits him with another haluva kick, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. It was a great spot here as well, where he got a Blue Thunder Bomb on Solo Sikoa, and it was a very close 3 count. I still wish he would use that as his finish. Haluva kick is a setup into the Blue Thunder Bomb, and that Blue Thunder Bomb is fucking a thing of beauty, man. Anyway, he wins with 2 Haluva kicks. He wins the United States Championship. Fireworks go off. SmackDown ends with Sami Zayn holding up the United States Championship. He is now 1 title away from becoming a Grand Slam champion in WWE. Again, pretty average episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Nothing really too crazy to discuss. These shows have boring written all over them, but like I said, the saving grace for this show was the Leon France crowd. Honestly. If WWE was in fucking Biloxi, Mississippi tonight, this show would have been fucking garbage. The fact that they were in Leon, France, and these people are fucking absolutely thirsty for any type of American pro wrestling, especially WWE, they're going to show up, show out, and show you exactly why they are some of the best crowds in all the world. And Leon, France did not disappoint for a second here. But Friday Night SmackDown, man, they need some serious fucking help. I don't know what it is with the lazy, lackadaisical effort that this show puts forth every week. It's almost as if you don't watch SmackDown, you miss nothing. You could easily catch up on clips on YouTube or on social media. You don't even need to watch the whole show. Like, I have to watch the whole show because it's my job to break this shit down. But man, if you are someone who does not want to digest the WWE product for 2 hours on Friday, and you simply want to catch up with fucking 10-minute clips or 10-minute YouTube video that goes over everything that you missed on Friday Night SmackDown, that's all you need, bro. When you are welcoming your audience to rather watch a 10-minute YouTube video that breaks down the highlights of SmackDown instead of watching the 2 hours of the show on Friday night, you know that you're putting in 0 effort.
What's SmackDown do?
Thank you guys very much for all your support. Appreciate you joining me here on this Friday night. We're going to wrap things up here. Get the hell out of here. I'm visiting my parents in Delaware tomorrow, so I got quite a long drive in the morning. And the Mustang's got a flat. Believe that? Don't know why, don't know how. The passenger side tire on the back side is flat. Went out to take the trash, saw that it was flat. How I'm going to get it to the fucking Ford dealership that's 10 minutes away, I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna end the video. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Now, for my predictions here, I predict that I think if Roman Reigns is taking time off to go film Street Fighter, then I think Bronson Reed should win. He'll take out Roman Reigns, or we could get Reigns winning, and maybe Braun Breaker takes him out on Raw, and then they can set up Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns. So I'll go with Reigns to beat Bronson Reed. Obviously, Becky Lynch is going to be Nikki Bella. I couldn't find her on the game, so as you can tell you, but Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella, just a filler feud, just a one-off. Becky's going to retain. Nikki's not winning. She's not full-time. It's up to her to give Becky Lynch an opponent, so Becky's going to retain her IC title. Sheamus versus Rusev, but Rusev ain't on the game, so as you's oldest, so Sheamus and Rusev in a Donnybrook match. I don't really care who wins. I think Sheamus should win and move up to the IC title. Or maybe they do Rusev. I don't know. We've seen this match so many times. We saw it on Raw. They two have been feuding for like 2 months now. Now, pretty sure Sheamus should win because they are in class in Paris. Sheamus lost last time we were in class in Paris. Well, it was called Clash of the Castle, but now it's Clash in Paris. Pretty sure Sheamus should win here. He should beat Rusev. Obviously, the Wyatt will retain their tag team titles against the Street Profits. There is a report that the Wyatt might feud with the MRTs with Solo Bloodline. The Street Profits are not winning the belt back. They already had their time. The Wyatt can retain. This is the second time the titles are being defended on the PLE. John Cena versus Logan Paul obviously will go to John Cena, unless we've seen Brock Lesnar show up and screw Cena, which I doubt, but I'm pretty sure John Cena can win here. And the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, Fatal 4-Way, CM Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso, and Seth Rollins. Obviously, Seth is going to retain. He just won the belt at SummerSlam. I think I'll pin either LA Knight or Jey Uso. I think Rollins and Punk are going to continue. Jey Uso might take the pinfall. Yeah, that's why he was added. Because he's over. Fans love him in France. Yeah, so that's about it. So, yeah, I'm going to end the video. Until next time, hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with more. I'll see y'all later.